What's up, guys? Welcome to your 121st Android tutorial for the new Boston, and I've decided to do a few more tutorials on the SQLite database because I've gotten so many requests on my channel, so I thought I should at least elaborate a little bit more within this series. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow the user to throw in a number, which is going to be our row ID. Then we can get some information, and it's just going to fill in these edit text up here with the information that it returns. We're going to also going to be allowed to edit that row information and change our entries into the database, and also we can delete that whole row if we want. So let's get into it. Again, you guys just need to set up an edit text. What I did is go into the text fields and throw this one that says number over there. That way when they select this edit text, the number keypad will come up for them instead of, you know, the alphabetical keyboard. And then what we're going to do is, you know, you guys can set up your references for the most part, whatever you guys, you know, by this point you should know how to set up your own references, and it won't really matter as long as you have the reference bridges over in Java set up properly. So what I did is I set up both those buttons, those three buttons, and our new edit text so our whole class can use them. And then I created basically my variable names was SQL row, which is our edit text, which is going to give us the row number. SQL modify, which is our button that's going to, you know, modify that entry. SQL get information. Again, that's going to just return the information from our row that we insert. SQL delete, that's what I named for my delete button. And then I just set all on-click listeners and set up, you know, 3 new cases within our switching case for our on-click listener. So let's get into it. The first thing that we need to do is we're going to kind of program our get information. So we got to kind of think about what we want again our application to do. The first thing that we want to do is we want to refer to our SQL row edit text. That's the new one that we set up, and we're just going to say get text dot toString, and we're going to set up a string variable to equal that. So we're just going to call this our string or S, something like that. And now we have a string that's going to return whatever is in our edit text. Now what we want to do is we want to convert that string into like an int or, you know, a long, let's say. Let's do a long, and we'll call this long L. So what we're going to do now is convert our string into a long type variable. And we do that by parsing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to refer to the long class dot parse long, and as you can see, it takes a string within its parameters, and we're going to give that string reference the S. So again, this L variable is just basically converting whatever was in our edit text into a long type variable. Now what we want to do is, again, we're just going to set up a hot or not variable, hot or not. I'm going to set this equal to, again, just a new hot or not instance where we pass in the context of this class. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open our hot or not so we can write to it, and then we're going to say, like, we're going to get some information back, a name and that hotness of the row. So what we want to do is we want to say something like string returned name equals, and then we can say our HON, our hot or not object, dot get name, and we're going to create this method, and we're going to pass in our long. So again, we're going to create this method called get name, where it takes a long within its parameters. So again, our long is going to be which row the person typed into the edit text. Then it's going to send that off to this method called get name that we're going to set up. So that's what that's going to do. And then we're also going to set up another string for our returned hotness. Pretty much the same concept there. So get hotness, we can call it. and again we want to pass in which row we're looking at. So there we go. Now we're just going to close our hot or not type variable. And then now we have our returned name and our returned hotness. So what we're going to do is just set our edit text up to equal that returned name and that returned hotness. So again, our edit text were called SQL name dot set text, and we're going to set it to our returned name. And then we're going to set our hotness edit text to our returned hotness. So there we go. We pretty much have everything set up. Now we just need to create these methods, which we'll do in the next tutorial. But just to get started, we're going to hover over and say create method for both of these. So go back into this class and we're going to create this method as well. So I'll see you guys in the next tutorial where we'll kind of talk about returning some information. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.